but they've literally only been dating for like 3 weeks and they're engaged. Hi. It doesn't really need to be said, but I have always been extremely obsessed with Ariana Grande. I know, I'm one of those. There was a point at which I could name literally every single one of her 9 dogs. Like, my Finsta's Ariana Grande themed. I wrote a literal college essay in my visual rhetoric class on her ponytail. I wrote an essay about her ponytail. So I really feel like I'm qualified to speak on this subject. Today we're talking about Ariana Grande and Pete Davidson. Okay. Even though I won't do a deep dive out of respect for Mac Miller and their relationship, I am trashy enough to talk about her other ex, Pete Davidson. Ariana Grande Butera was born June 26, 1993, making her a Cancer queen. Pete Davidson was born November 16th, 1993, making him a Scorpio. I gotta fact check. Yeah, he's a Scorpio and she's a Cancer. So that's it, the video's over. Let's take it back. The year is 2016. All is well. Leonardo DiCaprio won his Oscar. Stranger Things came out. Miley and Liam got back together. I'm in college. Black Beatles is playing at every party I attend. Beyonce came out with Lemonade. It's just an incredible year. I mean, so this time Ariana had just released Into You. She already had 3 like chart-topping albums out. Like, she was huge. I don't need to tell you how huge she was at the time. Ariana Grande has always loved comedy. Like, one of her biggest idols ever is Jim Carrey. She loves him. She loves comedy. She's very funny. So her being on SNL, hosting SNL, was definitely no surprise. So the first time she was on Saturday Night Live as musical guest was September 27th, 2014, which was also the very first day that Pete Davidson was on SNL. And he was the youngest cast member to ever be on SNL. I think he was like the first person ever born in the 90s to be a cast member on Saturday Night Live. So his first day was her first day, but they didn't actually meet that day. I always have to move my car. There's too many people. So Ariana Grande is set to host Saturday Night Live. Before you host, you go into the writer's room with Lorne Michaels and you meet all together and they kind of like pitch you ideas if you're the host. And then after the big writing meeting, you go to everybody's like individual room. So Ariana goes around and she goes to Pete's room and Pete is with his writing partner. So Pete is like pitching her ideas and later he's like, they weren't funny, they were so horrible. But she says that she leaves the room and she meets up with Rashad, her tour manager, and she's like, I'm gonna marry him. But she's dating Mac Miller at the time. So on the Zach Sang show, she says that she was practicing her monologue and she saw Pete off to the side and she saw his tattoo and he has like a little Harry Potter, like Deathly Hallows tattoo, and she loves Harry Potter. She was like staring at him, and then after she practiced, she came up to him and she was like, is that a Harry Potter tattoo? And he was like, yeah. And she was like, cool.
Carry on. I walked away.
So they meet on SNL, but Ariana is dating Mac. Pete is dating Cassie David. They're in like a 6-year relationship or something. And then in May of 2018, our ridiculous timeline starts. So buckle up. This is a fucking ride. Sometime in May of 2018, Pete is having a rough time with Cassie. And Scooter Braun, who I have not fully formed an opinion on yet, Pete says that he gets a visit from Scooter when he's not doing well, and Scooter mentions something. It's literally like all the context. On May 3rd, Cassie posts a picture of her and Pete together, so we know that they're together on May 3rd. May 7th, Ariana attends the Met Gala in New York alone, which everyone was like, she's alone. On May 9th, TMZ reports that Mac and Ariana break up. On May 12th, it's reported that Ariana attended an SNL after party and was hanging out with Pete Davidson and Pete Davidson's mom. She wasn't on SNL that night, but she was on Jimmy Fallon. And Jimmy Fallon is taped in Rockefeller, where SNL is taped, and Jimmy Fallon was on SNL and it's all his friends, so she goes to the after party. So at this time, Ariana has this big chunky white cloud iPhone case, and it's reported that Pete is leaving the after party with the cloud iPhone case on his phone. May 14th, Ariana posts a cloud emoji on Instagram. On May 16th, we find out that Cassie and Pete have broken up, allegedly via text, possibly earlier, possibly on May 9th when Ariana and Mac break up. Sometime between May 16th and May 20th, Ariana has a game night at her house where Pete comes over, everybody leaves, Pete stays, and Pete says in an interview that he was like, I'm so stupid and unaware of how chemistry works. Can I kiss you? On May 20th, they have their arms around each other at the Billboard Awards. On May 21st, People claims that they're casually dating. On May 25th, Pete posts this whole thing on his Instagram story about how people with borderline can be in serious relationships because everybody knew that they were dating and everybody was talking shit about his like mental wellness and him dating Ariana Grande, which is so stupid. On May 29th, Ariana goes to Pete's show at the Comedy Store and posts about it on her Instagram story. And on May 30th, their relationship is officially confirmed when Ariana posts this dorky photo. I'm sorry, it's just this, I can't get over it. She posted the Harry Potter photo. We all know it. We do not all love it, but we've all seen it. On June 2nd, Pete gets 2 Ariana Grande tattoos. He gets the Dangerous Woman bunny and he gets AG on his thumb. Also on June 2nd, Ariana goes to Wango Tango and is seen with an engagement ring.
What was that? Okay, James.
And on June 11th, they post that they're engaged. I literally screenshotted this and I was freaking out. And this is how they explain the engagement. I need to read this direct quote from Pete. We were in bed hanging after watching a movie. I was like, will you marry me? It was really dope. And then later, Ariana was on the Zach Sang show. She was doing like a slumber party thing with a bunch of fans. And a fan was like, I just need to know if the rumor is true that he was high when he asked you to marry him. And she's like, he's always high. Ugh, I love love. So that was 21 days. So from this point on, these two are like chronically online. There are so many like videos, snaps, Instagram stories.
Honest to God, knock me out.
Feel the love tonight.
Ow! Okay. Oh my God. Wow, that could have been very bad.
All of that of them together. And I feel like the majority of their relationship is just them laughing together, which is cute. It is cute. So on June 11th, they post they're engaged. On June 12th, they all go to Disney. Ariana is high-key a Disney adult, but we don't talk about it. Frankie, high-key a Disney adult. So Frankie, her brother, her mom, and like all their friends, whatever, they all go to Disney to celebrate their engagement. And there's like all these videos of them on rides and whatever. It's cute shit. So I recorded this like 3 weeks ago. I've been traveling, I've been very lazy, and in this time, not only has Pete taken photos on rides with Ariana Grande, he was just on a ride with Kim Kardashian. Oh, what is happening? On June 17th, Ariana posts a SpongeBob photo confirming that they moved in together. I remember screenshotting this too, but literally this photo is so accurate. Like, I remember looking at all their Snapchats and stuff. I swear to you, their apartment was empty the whole time they lived in it. There was never any furniture in that.
I don't know, like maybe like a big case here, and then like a thing here, and you can put like pictures and I don't know, maybe. That's embarrassing.
No furniture, just vibes. On June 22nd, Ariana Grande invents big dick energy. She invented that. She invented that. So Ariana always like talks in this like code and like little chitter chatter to her fans online, definitely on Twitter. And at the time she was like kind of answering questions about Sweetener and like revealing things. And one of her fans asked, how long is Pete Davidson? I'll just show you the tweet. On June 21st, Pete is on Jimmy Fallon with Robert Pattinson. And I know you may be thinking, this is it. This is the Twilight connection we've all been waiting for. No, no, no. This is the Harry Potter connection we've all been waiting for. So Robert Pattinson literally says nothing during this interview. Maybe like 2 words. He's just sitting there. Pete is just talking up a storm and Jimmy Fallon goes, you didn't have to get engaged to Ariana Grande to come on the show. And he goes,
But I did though.
So that's like all they say during that. And he just like slips in that little comment. But what is he wearing? Wait, what is he wearing? Oh. Right. Right. So in addition to being like chronically online, their other thing is getting matching tattoos. That's literally all they do is post videos, get matching tattoos. Like they have a lot of tattoos that pertain to one another. I felt like I had seen all of them, but I didn't know that Ariana even had like Pete Davidson's dad's firefighter number on her ankle, and he like passed away in 9/11. I wonder what she did with that. On July 18th, Ariana releases God is a Woman, and there's lots of like snap videos and Instagram stories of Pete listening to God is a Woman. He was on the music video set.
Where? Really?
Yeah. Bye.
I didn't see you.
Thank you.
Okay. That's my fiance.
I know, right?
On August 21st, they make their red carpet debut, which it seems like they had done a million times before because it's just like such an influx of Ariana and Pete content, but they've literally only been dating for like 3 weeks and they're engaged. I think these photos are so funny because Ariana looks like a hot cyber robot from space and Pete looks like you plucked him off the Staten Island sidewalk, which we did. So they like stand on the carpet for 2 seconds and they're kissing and whatever, and then they literally like run in front of the cast of The Hills and make a beeline into the venue. Ariana wins Best Pop and she gives him a big old smooch, and then she goes on stage. She thanks everyone, blah, 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 and then she goes, Pete Davidson, thank you for existing, love you, bye, and she walks off. All up until this point, it's like absolute steamroll of Ariana and Pete. They are so in love. I'm so happy for them. They've been through so much. Blah. But then I feel like their first little roadblock was Pete's previous jokes about Ariana kind of coming back. For context, even though they both have like very dark senses of humor, they joke together all the time, their relationship is like 99% comedy jokes, inside jokes, all of that. Pete's style of comedy is extremely dark. Like 90% of his jokes revolve around his dad dying in 9/11. So that's that. So like 9 months earlier, he had made a joke about Ariana Grande and how she didn't realize how famous she was. And he said, Britney Spears didn't have a terrorist attack at her concert. So that's not great. Ariana did come out with this response after people were asking her about it and kind of left it at that. But I feel like that was kind of their first like, maybe this is real life. Another little thing that I think came back to really bite them was Pete went on SNL and made a joke about keeping Ariana, getting her to stay with him, and he made a joke about replacing her birth control with Tic Tacs. On one hand, I do see how it's a joke. He has this really stark humor, but I also think it's like... Then on September 7th, Mac Miller passed away at 26 years old. I still think about him every day. So after that, there are some awful tweets online really berating Ariana about Mac's death, almost to the point, no, absolutely to the point of blaming her for his death. And I believe she has some responses, but ultimately she like doesn't want to talk about it, and she doesn't need to. Like, that is so personal. Quick shift in gears. At this point, Ariana and Pete decide the next best thing for them to do is get a pet together. Namely, a micro pig named Piggy Smalls. Pete was on Late Night with Seth Meyers and he was like, this girl, she was like, I want a pig. And then in the next hour, it was there. There are so many pictures of Piggy Smalls, so much good piggy content. So all throughout September, they're normal, being gross online, being flirty, whatever. On October 7th, Ariana posts a photo of Pete and writes, I love you like Kanye loves Kanye. And then on October 8th, there's photos of Pete with his Dangerous Woman tattoo covered up. On October 14th, TMZ reports that they are broken up. The source says they still have love for each other, they're just done romantically, but even if they loved each other still at the time,
When do we have to stop this charade?
that does not last long. So I also want to read this quote from Pete about Mac dying because Like, they knew each other too. I don't know. I just always wonder if Ariana and Pete would still be together if Mac was still alive. Because if anyone has ever been in a relationship with someone with a substance problem, like, you care about that person, but it's not healthy for you to try and support them and fix them through something that they're not willing or able or open to fixing. And Ariana did kind of like post about this, which is the only reason I'm saying it is because she did kind of allude to the fact that they broke up just because this was so hard on her. And she's not responsible for him. And at the same time, when you think someone's going to get better, you don't think that they're just going to like disappear off the face of this earth. You break up with someone, that's your ex-boyfriend, and you're like dating this new guy. Of course you want to like make him jealous. You move on really quickly. You have this rebound. It's this whole thing. How can that rebound relationship last after such a tragedy? It just can't. I mean, they absolutely did not stand a chance after that. There's literally no way that they could have stayed together after Mac died. But I just wonder, like, what would have happened to them if he didn't? How long? I mean, I still don't think they would have lasted. There's no way. But I don't know. I really don't think they would have stayed together. But at the time, I was really rooting for them. I really was. I would like to use this moment to flex my prediction skills. I predicted Ariana's wedding dress. I literally did. I have video evidence. Okay, I've been thinking a lot lately about Ariana Grande's wedding because we all know by now she's engaged, and I just think, I don't even know. This is a collide of all my world. And my second guess is Vera Wang, because Vera Wang designed the thing that she wore to the Met Gala, which was actually a hint to God as a woman. And it could be it. Just more. Not only did I accurately predict her wedding designer, I also said this. But part of me hopes that she does something crazy, like off-white. Like, I have an off-white wedding dress. Now, Ariana did not use off-white, but guess who did? Hailey frickin' Bieber! I'm a psychic. I'm a psychic. I know it. I know it. I'm a psychic. My intuition precedes me sometimes. I swear to God. In 2019, Ariana did this huge article in Vogue where she kind of like went back and talked about everything she's been through. She talked about Manchester, she talked about her albums, and she talked about Pete, but only like a little bit at the end. And she says, like, when I met Pete, it was an amazing distraction. It was like fun and insane, but it was highly unrealistic. I feel like she didn't really say anything that like hurtful or harsh or inappropriate about Pete. So Pete had a Netflix special called Alive from New York. And he literally starts it with, I wasn't gonna do jokes about this, but my buddy told me, yo, I heard that Ariana said that she didn't know who you are and she was just dating you as a distraction. So now I just think, you know, this is fair game. Like, she has her songs and stuff and I have this. And he makes a lot of Ariana jokes. I mean, truly a lot of Ariana jokes. And honestly, they're kind of funny. But I also just like don't feel like she was shitting on him. Like, I don't feel like she said anything that bad. He made other jokes on SNL. Like, he keeps bringing her up, and she makes some tweets about him, and they're like truly over at this point. Like, that is it. I mean, she came out with Thank You Next. He came out with a Netflix special, and with that, I'll end it. I'm gonna end it with, I love you, right?
Shit is catchy. Shit is very catchy.